Hi everybody, this is Osprey from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at some of the top stocks from today. These are some of the biggest gainers, and so there were quite a few stocks that were running today. Yeah, we have a lot to cover, more videos coming as well. Just tons are in play here to end the year. So this has been a great 2017, everybody. Looking forward to 2018 already. Okay, first up is WATT. This is Watt. It's up 33% again today, so big follow through. RSI is at 94, and you have Fasto at 92, so it is really frothy. And you can see here, plus DI is starting to hook. Okay, so that's a signal that it is getting frothy. There was an upper wick on today's candle, so there was a pullback from high of day, not too big, but still there was some profit taking up here. There was a big gap up open yesterday above the moving averages, above the 50, 100, 200, and 300 day simple moving averages. That's the green, gold, red, and blue lines. And then today there was a big gap up open further and a push all the way up to near $34. So this has been an incredible move starting down here at about 840. And so right now there's a gap between high of day yesterday and low of day today. So the top of this candle is the bottom of the gap, and then down here around 24, and then you have the top of the gap up here around 2770 or so. And so a drop down to 24 would fill the gap. The first real support level besides the closing price here really is, the first moving average support level is down here at EMA 4 at 2155. So if the candles do end up working back into the bands, look for a potential drop down to 24 and possibly down to 21. That is the risk when a stock forms a big gap above the upper Bollinger Band on the daily chart. And so you can see that there's a parabolic move on MACD on both time frames. And so this is making all-time new highs. This is on the blue sky breakout. And so there's uncharted territory. It's above all the moving averages. And so, if you look here at the weekly chart, you can see it's up 257% for the week. Okay, so now RSI is at 80. And as you can see here, this is a previous level where it has topped out at in the past. So back when it had a big run back here in 2016, when it topped out in September, when hitting 80, it was signaled to top. So we'll see if this will, if RSI will signal the same here. If this is, because it is at frothy levels again on Fasto at 92. You can see this is previous peak levels. And so, so this is on the blue sky breakout. If you've had a super parabolic move on plus DI, I mean, that is almost completely vertical. Okay, that is super unsustainable. Okay, so it can't, this has been one incredible week, and you just never know how high they're going to push it. So the key is going to be to follow the intraday charts. As you can see here, it has broken out now above the all-time weekly high close, which was just under $20 from back here in 2016. From what is that? That's September of 2016. And so that weekly high close is the key level to close above and turn into support for the week. And so the closing bell is going to be, this candle will set tomorrow at the closing bell. So as long as there isn't a huge pullback below 20, this looks like it's going to be the all-time high close. And so we're looking at 20 as the big level to turn into support in the future. You have EMA 4 way down here at 17. This is breaking out above, it's a major breakout. This is a blue sky breakout. It broke out across this descending resistance line above 15, above all the moving averages on the weekly chart. And as you can see, this has only been trading since 2014. So the 200 and 300 week moving averages are undefined. And so the way to play this is to use the 15-minute chart, and as you can see here, there are two gaps in the chart. There's a big gap between high of day on the 26th and low of day on the 27th, and then there's another gap between high of day on the 27th and low of day on the 28th. And so right now the Bollinger Bands are tight. You've got the lower Bollinger Band at 2950, the upper Bollinger Band at 3360, and so the big level to break is 33. If it can push through 33, that's going to signal that it wants to head higher, and then you want to see 33 turn into support. As you can see here, there was a double top today at that that level. You know, it hit that level, pulled back, bounced off the middle Bollinger Band, the dotted purple line, hit it again and double topped. And so right now, the middle Bollinger Band currently at 3160 is the key level to hold. If that breaks, you will likely see a drop down to 29. That was the low close today on the 1030 candle. And if it drops below 29, that's when it could come down here. You've got the top of the gap at 2750 about, and then you could potentially, you know, when the middle Bollinger Band breaks and it drops below the low close, the bottom of the daily channel, many times it drops down to that 50 simple moving average, and that's all the way down there at 2471. So that is the downside risk, you know, a drop down to 24 and filling the gap. So fail to break above 23 and drop below 29, and there's a potential drop to 24 coming. So yeah, so yeah, this has been a beautiful move. Congrats everybody. Just have to keep following those charts. Okay, let's look at LINU. This was the big winner today. It closed up 134%. So congrats everybody. There were alerts put out earlier in the day, and so yeah, it was just nice to see it really follow through. It kept pushing. You know, it pushed really hard. It made a giant move. It broke out. You know, it has the parabolic once again spike. You know, last time it got like that. Look over here. You know, a red candle followed, and that is the potential risk, is that a red candle follows tomorrow. You know, bulls want to see a move like May over here. You could see where it had multiple white candles, you know, large white candles in a row. But today's candle did close well above the upper Bollinger Band, and there's a chance that the candles pull back into the bands. The risk is the gap down open. You can see when it closed above the upper Bollinger Band here, it opened way down here, and so the market makers, you know, you just have to check out the pre-market trading and see if it's under pressure or not. You want to see the share price stay above today's closing price. If it starts dropping below 312, that means it could work back into the bands, and then you have EMA4 way down here at 205. The big level to hold is this, you know, 237 level, the high close here from October. You want to see that level turn into support. It hit the resistance from over here in June, and so this June resistance zone is the big level to break. You can see here the close on the bounce there was at 340, and so if it could get above 340, then you're looking at a run up to 440. That's the big level. So bulls, that's what you want to see tomorrow, is the share price to push higher. If it does push higher and it hits that 440 resistance zone, it could possibly top out. You know, that would form a potential double top that would fill the jar back to that level. If it could get above 440, then 540 would be on deck. Notice there was a giant volume spike today, and it did close near high of day. There was a PSAR bull flip, the green dots are now below candles, and MACD bull crosses on both time frames. Okay, let's look at LIVE. Okay, it closed up 50% today. Okay, so that was a really nice move. As you can see here, it made the black candle form today. So even though it was up 50%, it closed below the open. And as you can see, the open was up here. So it opened at, what was that, 2370 or so. 2373 was the open, and then it dropped all the way down. You know, it ran up to 2650. That was your climax spike, and then when it pulled back down and started forming that upper wick, that was your signal to lock in gains. And then if you didn't, once it got below the opening price, that was your red flag that there was more downside risk. So it's just pain and suffering if you hold during this. If you're long, you know, this is where you want to short up here when the candle is pulling back from high of day. The candles are likely to work back into the bands. That's what happens many times when a black candle forms like this. Notice that this stock has had, you know, hardly any volume at all, you know, and then you've got the giant volume spike today. Well, they use the today to sell shares. You know, they had, look, it closed the previous day down here at 13. They used they had 100% premium on the day before that they were able to dump a whole bunch of shares where they normally don't have that much volume. So this was a big dilution day. If you look down here, God, I didn't show it, but yeah, if you, I thought I had it set up for you. If you look at accumulation distribution and shaken money flow, what you're going to see is a big spike down, and so it just shows that you just want to be careful if you're a trader when a black candle forms. You know, this is what happens. You know, see that this was accumulation distribution was just flatlined, and then boom, today the big dump. Look at CMF. I mean, it dropped all the way down to 84, negative 84. I mean, that they unloaded the bomb today. And so, yeah, so it's likely to continue lower. What you want to do is follow the 15-minute chart. And so as you can see here, all the magic happened on the first candle of the day. That was the big climax spike. You had the big volume spike, and then you had the upper wick and pullback from high of day. This was the top right here. And then, it tried to get back above there. It did have a high close here at 10:15, and then that red volume bar there at 10:30 was the ominous sign that things were breaking down. And as you can see, it formed an intraday downward channel. Once it got below EMA 4, it was struggling to get back above. The break below the middle Bollinger Band was another big red flag at 2 o'clock. And so it started this downtrend, and now it's riding EMA 4 resistance lower. It has to get back above 2028, and then it has to get it back above this red descending resistance line and the middle Bollinger Band at 2082. If it can do that, then it could get the uptrend going again. The big level to break is 25 in order to head higher. If it fails to get back above that middle Bollinger Band, you could see it drop down here and test the 50 simple moving average. That is the key level to bounce off on this pullback at 18. Okay, let's look at GCAP. Okay, yeah, this had a really nice move today. Congrats, everybody. Closed up 26%. It was heating up yesterday, and yeah, it followed through big time. It closed above high close horizontal resistance, and so that was exactly what everybody wanted to see. All the bulls wanted to see the close above the closing price here on the 24th of November signals more upside potential. It did close well above the upper Bollinger Band, so the risk is the candles do work their way back into the bands. That could happen. It did happen here. Back here in November when it closed above the upper Bollinger Band, the candles work back into the bands. You have EMA 4 down here at 852, so this is a big level to hold on a pullback, and also you want to hold you want to turn this high close resistance level into support. So what bulls want to see is they want to see it push higher. As you can see, $10 is the next big resistance zone. It had a recent P-star bull flip. It's trading above all the moving averages. A giant volume spike today. You had the bull crosses. The whole blockchain Bitcoin stock sector was under pressure today, and this stock was just cruising higher. So what you need to do is follow the intraday charts on this. Yeah, I thought I had the other weekly chart for you to show you that next key resistance zone. Yeah, we will track the action tomorrow. So yeah, I'll post updates. Let's look at VTVT. Okay, it closed up 37% today. It's still in the bull zone on RSI at 64. Fastos at 74. So neither one are at overbought levels yet. So today it made a really bullish move. It closed above the 50, 100, 200, and 300 day simple moving averages. As you can see, all these lines are converged basically at the same level. And so what it needs to do is stay above the 100-day simple moving average. That's the top moving average on this chart at 546. The gold line. If it can stay above that level, it could push higher. You can see $6. The resistance from back here in September and October. That's the next level to break. And then 660. If it can get through these levels, it could work its way back up to 780, which was the high close from back here in October. So if it fails to stay above these moving averages and they turn into resistance, then you could see the candles pull back into the Bollinger Bands here, and you can see possibly that middle Bollinger Band tested down here at 534. As long as the middle Bollinger Band turns into support, a new uptrend should begin. As you can see here down in August, it formed a bottom, and then it made a really strong uptrend, and then it came all the way down and had a complete retracement, and then it recently just formed this double bottom in December, and now it had a big breakout today. Notice the giant volume spike. So there was huge volume behind the move. You've got the recent MACD bull crosses. There was a P-star bull flip, and so we talk about the negative, the spike down on accumulation distribution, yeah, we had showed you that earlier, and so yeah, so what I'd like to show you now is the opposite of that, and that's when you see a big spike up. And so as you can see here on this chart here, you can see that VTVT it closed up 37%. and it closed near high, not totally near high of day. There was a small upper wick, but it had a huge white candle, and it closed close to high of day, and so it had this giant accumulation distribution spike. It had a big spike in CMF. People were buying into the close. This is what you want to see. You don't want to see the spike down. You want to see the big spike up. You want to see that's what you're looking for if you are a bull. Okay, so let's look here at the next one. Yeah, and that would be for live here on when it dropped down on both. So that's the opposite. That's the black candle. And this is the bullish white candle. You get the big spike up, and so that's what you're looking for. Okay, yeah, let's look at LTEA. Okay, yeah, so congrats everybody. We had this was on the radar for potential bounce from last night's video. It closed up 10% today. It's still in the bull zone on RSI. It had the technical bounce. It looked like it was setting up to bounce off of the 200 and 300-day simple moving averages. It did. You can see the lower wicks on the two candles here. And so those levels held. As long as they're holding along with EMA 13, that's the orange line here at 370, then it could push higher. If those levels break, you see a drop below 370, that's when you could see a drop down here to test the 50, 20, and 100-day simple moving averages, the middle Bollinger Band down here. It would likely drop down here to 289. There's a potential drop down to 250 and filling the gap. So if you're a bull, you really want to see it stay above this blue and red line. And so the key level to break now is EMA 4. Notice it closed right at that level. So it has to get above 451. The close above 451 would signal more upside, and then you'd be looking for a run back up to the upper Bollinger Band at 583 and this closing price at $6. Failed to get above EMA 4, a drop below the 200 and 300-day simple moving averages will signal downside risk. If you look at the 15-minute chart for LTEA, you'll see that it's heating up here. It bounced. It got above the middle Bollinger Band. It's above the green line. The middle Bollinger Band is this dotted purple line, and so it got above that. It got above the 50-day simple moving average, and then it's above the 200-day simple moving average. It's also above the 300-day simple moving average, or 300 simple moving average. I'm sorry, it's the 15-minute chart. That's down at 348, and so it's above all the simple moving averages on the 15-minute chart, except for the 100 simple moving average. It has to get above that. That's the next key level. So 488. If you see it break above 48, that would be really bullish. You'd want to see that level turn into support. If it fails to break above that level, that could signal a temporary top. If it drops below the 250 simple moving averages, or you see it drop back below the middle Bollinger Band, those will be red flags that it's not ready to head higher. It did close on the highest close of the day, so that was a very bullish close. Okay, so yeah, so keep an eye on LTEA. We'll see if it can follow through. Another one to keep an eye on in the blockchain sector is RIOT blockchain. Okay, ticker symbol RIOT. Okay, it still has RSI in the bull zone here at 55. It formed a bullish reversal pattern today, bullish doji star. As you can see, the candlestick today is what we call it's called a doji candlestick, and as you can see here, this is the bullish doji star reversal pattern. And so this is a good, when you see a doji form after a gap down during, after a red candle, that's when many times you will see a bounce. And so, it could be a stronger setup, but we will, the key here is just like the last chart that we were looking at. You can see the high of day hit EMA's 4 and 8, the pink and white line. It has to get above both levels. Once you see it above, basically when it gets to 29 or higher, that's when it's okay, so it's trying to break out higher. If it fails to get above 29, that's going to be a red flag. And then if you see it, and also above 27, which is EMA 13, has to break that as well. But the high of day, it's really about 29. Get it back above 29, turn 29 into support. If it fails to get above 27 and 29, then you're looking at the middle Bollinger Band being tested again at 24. Once that middle Bollinger Band breaks, you notice how it held last week. If that breaks, that's going to signal big downside risk, and you could see a drop all the way down to the 50-day simple moving average at 1520. Okay, if you look at the 15-minute chart for RIOT, you can see here the Bollinger Bands are super tight. So look how tight they are over here. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to show you this chart, just because of how tight the Bollinger Bands are. I mean, look at that. I mean, literally the lower Bollinger Band and the upper Bollinger Band are you know, the candles busting through the top. I mean, it couldn't be wound any tighter. When you get when the Bollinger Bands become super tight like this, you know, it means a move is imminent. Something's gonna pop here. It's like somebody's been shaking up the champagne bottle, and it's either gonna explode to the upside or it's gonna fail miserably and break down. But there's going to be a move at the open tomorrow, so keep an eye on it. It's wound super tight. It consolidated, as you can see here, sideways the entire trading day, and so it's really set up for a move early in the day. Look at that. Look how tight they kept it the entire day. So it couldn't be any tighter right now. It has to get it back above these moving averages. The 100 simple moving average is right here at 27, you know, basically 28. Then you have the 50 at 28.54, the 300 at 30, and then you have the 200 simple moving average at 21.68. Once RIOT is back above all those moving averages, that's when you're like, okay, the 15-minute chart is really strong and it can keep pushing higher. If it fails to get above those levels, that will signal more consolidation. Notice how it did close on a volume spike. So after really low volume all day, there was a volume spike in a very tight trading range. So keep an eye on it. Okay, let's switch gears a little bit. We're going to look at some of these over-the-counter marijuana sector stocks, okay, because the United States marijuana sector is super hot. The Canadian sector has been super hot. They're all running hard with California legalization, with all, you know, lots of legislation coming through at the start of the year. The industry is really exploding right now, and so there's a lot of charts that are showing upside potential. And so I'll just go through this quickly. First up is MYHI, and I just want you to know we have a whole bunch of these plays, so come check out of the chat and we will show you more, or check out the app that I'll post the link at the end of the video. As you can see here, it broke above resistance today. Look at the big volume over on the down here on the right. So there's been really big volume. That's what you want to see before the move. If you look back here in early 2017, back in January, it had the giant run all the way up to basically 90 cents, and so right now it has that type of volume going on after you know, trading basically sideways to down with low volume, and so it's breaking above resistance. What you want to see now is a break above 14, which was the high close from over here in July, and then you want to see a break above 18, which was the high close from here on June the 2nd. And so once it's above 18, it could really get moving. You know, 20 is going to have some resistance, but it could, you know, so keep an eye on it. It's really heating up. Okay, let's look at POTN. This is another one. Okay, so congrats everybody. You know, it closed up 81%. This is one that we alerted at lower levels. So congrats. It is always really nice when it follows through. Yeah, it had that nice breakout above the symmetrical triangle. Okay, and then it broke out above high close horizontal resistance. You know, it got above the 8.3. Basically the 9, and then we were looking for a break above 10, and it broke above that, and it ran all the way up to 12.12 into the close. So it was super strong. I mean, it did not slow down. As you can see, it closed near high of day. Yeah, and check out the volume bar. I mean, it was on monster volume today. So, you know, the largest volume day of the year. Yeah, keep an eye on POTN. You know, we are charting these plays in the chat. So yeah, if you want to check it out real time. Okay, and then PHOT, this is another one that's been breaking out. As you can see here, it got above 2 cents. That was a big level. And then now we're looking at this 2.8 to 3 cent resistance zone. As you can see, it's from over here in February of 2016. If it can get above that, then it could really get going. As you can see, in 2016, it was trading as high as 8.5 cents. It's been on this really nice uptrend. Yeah, we were alerting it at much lower levels back when it was below a penny, and now, you know, it's up here at 3 cents. Yeah, we've had some huge winners. Let's look at SPLIFs, talking about huge winners. Here's another one. You know, this was alerted yesterday, and then today it's up 70, you know, another 70%. It was up much higher on the day. It hit 95. It did form a spinning top today. So this is a potential bearish reversal pattern forming here. If a red candle does form, you know, this could be the bearish evening star. You know, we'll have to see. This isn't what you want to see in an uptrend when you have multiple green candles in a row, and then you have a gap up open open above the upper Bollinger Band, a spinning top like this many times signals that the candles could work back into the bands. And so a lot of times the safest thing is just to go to the sidelines and then look for a re-entry. You can always jump back and board if it starts pushing higher the next day. The downside risk outweighs holding overnight when you have this type of indecision candle and the stock's already been up huge. You know, like they say, I know it's cliche, but bulls and bears do make money and pigs do get slaughtered. Okay, so here's MJTK. This is another nice uptrend, you know, alerted at lower levels. As you can see, we were looking for a breakdown here above 0015, and you know, the share price has more than doubled. It hit as high as 0039 since the you know, the breakout that we were looking for, and then yeah, this was a really sweet move. It followed through really nice today. It had a very similar move to SPLIF where it formed the long upper wick. You know, it has the spinning. You know, it's not. It doesn't. The lower wick is not twice as long as the real candle body, but this is still an indecision candle. You know, so it's profit taking, possibly dilution off the top. You know, the candles could work back into the bands. You want to see 0024 hold on a pullback. You know, they could keep pushing it higher. You know, that's what they've been doing on these. They've been pushing them higher. You know, EMA 4 is way down here at 002. As long as EMA 4 is holding, the chart is super strong. It's just once the candles get above the upper Bollinger Band and it's on a multi-day run, that's when you have to be ready to lock them in if the chart starts, you know, showing that it's breaking down. And so follow those intraday charts, you know. Always keep an eye on the intraday chart at the start of the day. Okay, let's look at AZFL here. This will be the final one. And so this is more of your lotto type play. It's currently in triple O's, 0006. If you can see here on the right, you know, they have some stuff going on in January. And so, you know, it looks like, you know, when things start happening for these over-the-counter stocks, that means news, and news is what drives the share price. And so it looks like some news will be coming, you know, in January. It's heating up. There was a giant volume spike today. It's been basing out. So this is one that you might be able to, if it gets going, get in at a lower entry point. Keep in mind, triple zeros are always very risky, and when they're in triple zeros, it means they have a very large float. It needs to get above 0009. As you can see back here in August, when it got above 009, back here on August 16th, it really ran. You know, it went as high as 0075. So yeah, keep an eye on it. You know, they're running the United States and the Canadian marijuana sectors, and Canadian is just blue sky breakout. It's just insane. They're doing so good. Okay, everybody, thank you very much for viewing this video. Check this out at mychartcoach.com, and I will post the link to our chat stock app at the below the video on YouTube. Okay, thank you.